This is the Eye for an Eye channel. Welcome to today's show. While everybody's distracted by all sorts of craziness in the world, we are just getting closer and closer to getting wiped off the map. The Pentagon is moving toward letting AI weapons autonomously decide to kill humans. So for those of you that don't know what that means they're going to let artificial intelligence think for itself and decide whether or not it should kill people. Now, of course, we know that they're all going to be pre-programmed, and we know exactly who they're going to be pre-programmed to kill. They keep telling us that AI is dangerous, that they don't know if AI could go haywire. We've seen the predictive programming with all these movies from Terminator, or, there's thousands of them about robots being evil and AI going wrong, and people just continue to just blindly not even pay attention to this stuff. And eventually, of course, they're like, well, they're not going to do anything to me. Yeah, well, if you don't listen, they will. And they're like, well, I'll listen. Oh, okay. Well, you listen when they're chaining you up in your little FEMA camp or whatever you want to call it, your concentration camp, whatever you want to call it, your camp, your little cell that they're going to put you in. Yeah? Oh, no, you'll still like it then? Well, then you might as well already be dead because mentally you're dead. So if you like that kind of a lifestyle. But the Pentagon, if they're moving towards letting AI weapons autonomously decide to kill humans, maybe it's time that we tell the Pentagon, you're fired. Right? Where's Donald Trump? You're fired. Maybe it's time that the civilians say, you know what? What is going on? Aren't these people supposed to be working on our roads and our infrastructure? They're creating drones and all these things. And again, when they're telling you that they're going to allow this, you know the technology is 50 years advanced, at least, to what they reveal to us that they have the capability of doing. And we know that eventually these things are going to go haywire by design. So they don't even really care if you have, the weapons are for their, they don't want you to have weapons to fight against them or their military. But these types of things, you're going to have to frequency fry them. And we don't really have the capability because we won't have an EMF or whatever you want, EMP to fry these things that's strong enough to do it. Unless we all get money together and get a compound somewhere. And of course, you know that they'll just bomb it anyway because they'll say that, oh, these people are trying to, look, there's a group of Christians that have taken up a whole county. There's thousands of them. And everybody there could just be like, yeah, we just don't want to be a part of society anymore. We want away from all this stuff. They'll put it on TV that everybody there's plotting to blow up the country. They're all terrorists. They'll just throw the propaganda out there. And then everyone will be like, kill them, get rid of them, And then so be it. That's what they'll do. So the U.S. is among countries who are arguing against laws to regulate AI-controlled killer drones. So the United States wants this. They want killer drones, our country, right? Who do you think? This is the same government that comes out and calls its own people terrorists. Okay, so who do you think that they're planning to use it against? Oh, they want the AI drones in case, Russia comes here, right? Oh, wink, wink, right? Huh? No, of course, this would be for them to use against us. So the article, this is from the New York Times, Business Insider, a lot of big places out there are covering it, but nobody seems to be saying boo. They're just like, whoa, that's crazy. And of course, the United Nations is who they're lobbying to either have the laws put in place or et cetera. Who gave these people power? Is anyone going to ask where the United Nations, where the World Health Organization, where have they been given power from? That civilians of the world are just supposed to heed authority to these people? I don't think so. But they've just taken authority without anybody fighting back, no revolution starting against them. And now they have full authority, right? So we could say, oh, they're going to ask the UN, hey, can they have AI drones that could just shoot civilians based on whatever, right? They could just be like, anybody who's got this flag in their lawn, anybody who doesn't have that prideful flag in their lawn, whatever they tried to do, they can program whoever they want. They'll pretend like they go haywire. They're like, oh, it was acting on its own. We just need to reprogram it. Even though the things will be fully programmed by these people to go after us. And then they won't have to deal with accountability because they never do, right? Just like our current regime. So the deployment of AI-controlled drones that can make autonomous decisions about whether to kill human targets is moving closer to reality. Lethal autonomous weapons that can select targets using AI are being developed by countries including the US, China, and Israel. The use, I'm sorry, I gotta be careful even saying that word. The use of the so-called killer robots would mark a disturbing development, says critics, handing life and death battlefield decisions to machines with zero human input. Does that sound good, folks? Let's just get no human input. But now, again, these will have human input. Okay? Because they will be programmed by wicked people. Just think, like I always say, at least recently I've been saying it a lot. Just think of like these robots are on the loose and you're like, oh, they're going to be Well, think of like if those stories weren't, CIA agents, Dahmer, Bundy, Gacy, right? People we look at, we're like, whoa, that guy's sick, right? Well, Think if they were programming the robots, would you be comfortable and happy? You'd be like, no way, what? We got to stop this now. But because you don't know who's programming, even though we do, I just mentioned them, the bagels. We know who's programming it. It's still a boogeyman. It's the man behind the curtain, like in The Wizard of Oz. So people's perception is, oh, you're just crazy. There's no crazy. Until, of course, stuff goes nuts, and then they put out some type of false flag thing, and they're like, hey, this was the guy who programmed it. He's dead now. He's Lee Harvey Oswald's cousin. And everybody goes, oh, okay, well, just some crazy guy got in there. No, it's the whole government. It's all of these people in power. It's all these heads of corporations like the Bezoses of the world, where you could look at them and you could see right into their eyes how sick and demented they are. But people out there just don't seem to, because their brains are not thinking. They are on cruise control. So the use of these killer robots, again, would mark a disturbing development. Several governments are lobbying the UN for a binding resolution restricting the use of AI drones, killer drones, but the U.S. is among a group of nations, which includes Russia, Australia, and Bagelville, who are resisting any such move, favoring a non-binding resolution instead. So, how interesting. Russia and America, we are pro having artificial intelligence that will kill without being, just on its own, right? How interesting. So this is really one of the most significant inflection points for humanity. Right, this is a significant inflection point for humanity, yet humanity has no say in this. Why don't we have say in this? Well, of course, because they're going to allow it, and they're going to go, well, you don't have say, you elected these politicians. And then the people that we supposedly elected, who we didn't, who were selected, instead of talking about, they just bring it up here and there. They're like, we got to regulate AI. Look over there. Can men have babies? And everyone's like, oh, wait a minute. Can men have babies? They're more focused on that story, right? Because they know it's utter insanity, but they know they could get you in there because it's just so crazy that you're going to get in there, get angry, and be like, what are you talking about? Men can have babies. And over here on the other side of the room, they're like, oh, yeah, we should do something about AI. But wait, they're talking about men having babies over there. So go look. And they're like, yeah, men can have babies. What? And they run the other room. Well, they're like, oh, yeah, AI, wink, wink. We got to regulate it. Wink, wink. Yeah, you got to regulate it. Regulate it how? To make sure that it's here and it's ready to kill civilians? So you can blame it on, let me get this straight. You'll have the drones and all this stuff out there, and then they'll go haywire and start killing civilians, and you'll blame it on Russian hackers? Is that how it's going to work? Because all that programming is in place. Oh, they hacked into the drones and they turned them on their own civilians. Yeah, no thank you. How about no? How about these people in Congress get thrown out now and arrested for treason? Hello, is anyone listening? No, they're not. Okay, and then on top of it, they have the nerve to tell us that, well, they're pandering to the United Nations. Our government's pandering, saying that they want it. Our government, wait a minute, our government's pandering to who has given authority to these people over us? Nobody has. No one. But they're the world government. So they can do what they want. And then we pretend like, oh, the United Nations is here to bring peace. Because you go to their website and all they talk about is peace and, of course, carbon emissions. Because how else are they going to enslave you without that, right? Nobody connects the dots. So, hey, what can you do? I'm trying to yell about it as much as I can. But, you can only get so far when you get suppressed. So Frank Kendall, the Air Force Secretary, told the Times that AI drones will need to have the capability to make lethal decisions while under human supervision, right? So who are these people supervised to do this? Oh, well, they're just really smart, tech-savvy people. What, do they have background checks or anything? Whatever. They'll come out and tell us this stuff, but we know who they'll be. They'll be the most wicked minds you could possibly imagine, right? And nobody will have elected them or selected them. The government will put them in those positions, kind of like they put, men and women's clothing in positions of high-ranking power in our government, so that we can all lose our minds and realize that our military is under the control of people who are utterly insane. So Frank Kendall here, the Air Force Secretary, says individual decisions versus not doing individual decisions is the difference between winning and losing. And you're not going to lose. I don't think people we would be up against would do that. And it would give them a huge advantage if we put that limitation on ourselves. So, because Russia is going to have these things making decisions. Well, we need to have these things making decisions. So then the Russian drones and the American drones are all just going to shoot all the American civilians. And then they'll tell you, of course, it's Russian drones. They'll put a little flag on the drone, right? Like the drone and they live. They'll put a little Russian flag on her, Putin's face, right? Oh, it'll be American drones, of course. They'll be all the world government drones. And they'll just be shooting civilians. And nobody will say boo, and then when it's over, everyone will still be on their phones, and nobody will be paying attention or caring, unless they're told to care about it, because then they'll care. they keep telling you to care, they'll care. If they just ignore it and say, oh, this was an accident, then they'll just go about their daily business, because that's how you mind control and herd a society of idiots. So the new I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. The new scientists reported in October that AI-controlled drones have already been deployed on the battlefield by Mr. Zelensky over there in its fight against the Russian invasion, though it's unclear if any have taken action resulting in human casualties. Now, I'm sure that's clear. The Pentagon did not immediately respond to a request for comment. I love when they do that, too. We're not going to respond. We're only going to put your lives, your children's lives at stake, and you're just going to have to trust us when, of course, this is the same government who's telling us that their own citizens are the new terrorists in this country. Right? Our own government who's taken away our free speech, who wants to take away our guns. Yeah, don't be suspicious. There's just going to be some Terminators running around out there, some drones flying over your homes. They're going to be shooting stuff at you. But, don't worry. Don't think about it, because American Idol's on tonight. And you should worry about who's going to be the next big singer. Is The Voice on tonight? Oh, goodness, yeah. And that's all they care about, right? Until, of course, it happens to their children. But even then, the way people are now so robotic, they probably wouldn't even care if it did happen to them. So this is your government at work. Of course, not working for you, working against you, because that's what's really going on here. Well, again, we're all distracted by things that are completely ridiculous, like if men can have kids and, keep you looking one way and keep you looking, just constant distractions with nonsense. That's what they do. Now, I need to ask everybody out there, do me a favor if you're still listening. Can you please make sure you're subscribed to United Uprising and A Call for Vengeance, my 2 channels below? It's really important that you sub to those for me. I need you to do that favor. I have to have these other channels built out. I'm very due for a strike. And again, if I get a strike here, I can't upload for 2 weeks. If I get 2 more strikes, this channel will be completely wiped out, and that's coming. How do I know it's coming? Because every time I get to a certain point, these channels get wiped out around 4, 8. This channel's been around a little bit longer because I stopped uploading on it to test it out. But usually when I'm uploading 2 to 3 videos a day, I don't last very long. So please make sure you sub to those channels now if you haven't. And check out the website, uprisingrevival.com, if you haven't joined. I have a new video up. Each day I'm trying to put up new videos over there. I can't, I can't guarantee every single day, but all my video archive videos, if you're new to this stuff, are over there. And my new content's up over there. And that's talking about some of the stuff going on over in the Middle East, which people need to know about. The rumors of war the Bible speaks of. There's just all this stage stuff getting uploaded on YouTube by these people. They're focused on YouTube and getting content on YouTube. They're actually uploading more videos a day, or just as many as I am, or I do, which shows you how focused they are on the war, right? It's really a war on your mind. So they're putting all that stuff over there to convince you of a war that's going on, when really the only war going on is civilians are being attacked. That's it. They want you to think it's two boogeyman, boogeyman fighting good guys. It's civilians who are under attack, and they're trying to stage it and give a reason for blowing up a lot of these civilian buildings. It's unbelievable. It truly is. So that's available on the website, as well as lots of other stuff. Lots of stuff to talk about with the outbreak still. That'll be going up this week. I recommend you join. If you want to support this work, you could, by joining, you are supporting the channel. It's $2.99 a month. It's ad-free. It's troll-free. It keeps the trolls out. And the forum itself is worth it, but you do get the exclusive content too. So if you want to support the channel away financially, you could do that. It does help. It's only $2. It doesn't go, it does go far, but I mean, it doesn't, I hate the fact that people out there don't want to join the website. I wish more people would, but hey, I understand. So please do those things if you can. If not, it's totally understandable, but keep an eye on these stories. They're very, very frightening. I thank you guys for the support. I appreciate you guys. I really, truly do. I thank the people who have stuck it out and stayed around. Obviously, it's becoming more and more difficult to build these channels out, but it is what it is, I guess, as the kids say. But I do really appreciate everybody out there. So thanks again for being here, everyone. God bless all of you, as always, and your families.